So here are some examples of scientific models. As you'll be seeing, they're all very different. Even this one right here is nothing like the other one. So the authors of recipes set out to try to do three things: characterize them, categorize these models, and find ways to critique these models. I'll go ahead and talk about each of these, summarizing what they say here. So first, the characterization of models. There's three things. First, all models, no matter how different, are representational. That just means that they are about something. We call the thing they are about the target. So if they're about viruses, about bacteria, about the economy, about the climate, those things are the target. Now, when the model is itself part of the target, we call it an exemplar. So for example, if I'm trying to sell you a Tesla and I get you into the Tesla and you're driving it, and it's not that you might buy that specific Tesla, you're gonna buy one Tesla, then we say that that Tesla is a model and it's an exemplar model. And obviously models are used to learn about something, usually the target or sometimes the data that they model. And models also simplify. Quick side note on simplification, there's two ways that models simplify: by abstraction and idealization. Abstraction takes away something, idealization adds something. The way you might try to remember is abstraction sounds like subtraction. And here's an example. These are equations modeling the interaction between prey and predator. The way these simplify via abstraction is that they don't really tell you the type of predator. So it doesn't matter whether the predator is going to be a polar bear or a cat. They also subtract or abstract away the cuteness. So if the predator is cute, it doesn't matter for these equations. And they also add a simplifying assumption. So for example, the equations assume that all the predators are motivated and hungry and chasing prey. We all know of some cats that will not chase anything no matter what, some very lazy cats. Okay, we have characterized models. Now let's go on to categorizing them. Two main ways to categorize the models. Data models model data that somebody collected. Phenomena models try to model something out in the world. Right? So for example, this is a data model because it's about data that somebody collected, and this is a phenomena model because it's a model of something out in the world, in this case San Francisco. And now, to make things a little bit more complicated, there's going to be 5 types of phenomena model. Scale models are miniaturized or enlarged versions of their targets. In the movie Zoolander, they give Zoolander this scale model. Zoolander gets mad and just throws the thing and says, "What is this? A center for ants?" And he's mad because the kids are not going to fit inside. And so to ruin the joke, I'm going to explain it. He confuses a scale model for his exemplar. All right, analogical models are not mini or enlarged versions of their target, but rather are models that have sort of structural similarity to their target. And here in this example, we got a system of water flowing to represent flows of money in an economy. Mechanistic models are used to illustrate the causal structure of a system. And so one you might be familiar with is this sodium-potassium pump. All right, and the last two are pretty straightforward. Lastly, critiquing models. Here we can kind of go quickly as well. There's 5 ways we can analyze a model or critique it: whether it's accurate, how close it is to the target, how, or to the truth; general applicability, how far does it apply to how many domains or to what extent of the domain; precision is in terms of how exact the information is; tractable is ease of use. Compare this, a very simple equation, to a very complicated equation; and robust, does the model still apply if we change the assumptions?